Well, joining us now live is clinical psychologist Dr. Donna Rockwell.
Donna, I don't know what it's going to take for the kids at Oxford to recover from this, but I also know that tonight there are young people all over our city and our part of the state that are going to need some attention and some help.
Yes, Devin, it's heartbreaking, of course. This is the nightmare come true. We've seen this in other cities, and we say this could not possibly happen here, and yet here it does once again. I think the most important thing to remember is that parents need to model for their children a sense of order, a sense of calm.
Yeah.
Because if we want them to stay calm, we need to stay grounded ourselves and be with them, hold them, talk to them, be present, and make them feel safe in your arms tonight.
Absolutely. Dr. Rockwell, talk a little bit about the possible mindset of the shooter in this situation and in other situations that we've seen so often play out on television. It seems like it's becoming more and more normal, dare I say, that we're reporting on these types of things. But oftentimes a mental health issue can be traced back as part of the problem. Can you speak a little bit about that?
Well, we can't really say anything to that effect right now, of course, because we don't know what his motives are. We don't know anything about the story except what happened. But we can know that there are so many guns on the street, and then it becomes a political issue, that an automatic machine gun or a gun of that magnitude in the hands of a child should never happen in this country or any country. And what is in his mind when he's doing that? So many times we talk about bullying, about feeling a sense of less than. We don't know what happened to him, but something happened where he was unable to control himself and contain a sense of emotional levelness. He lost it, and we have to figure out why this keeps happening in our country.
You know, they've already announced that there'll be no school tomorrow in Oxford. And Donna, I always think that that's a really interesting position for administration to be in for understandable reasons. It's a crime scene, on and on. And yet you understand the need for these kids to be able to be together, to be with their teachers, to be in some sort of comforting structure.
Well, yes, perhaps in our time of a virtual age, we can be together. They'll figure out something to bring the entire school together tomorrow where they don't have to go into school. And it's really important, actually, at this time for kids to be with their parents, because that's who makes us feel the most safe. And that's where they need to be tomorrow.
In fact, we've talked a lot about what this pandemic and virtual learning has done to socialization of kids who kind of rely on that face-to-face contact. This is a really, it's already been a very fraught time for young people, and this just piles on top of it, doesn't it?
Yes, it complicates the entire situation. We are already in a state of trauma as a country, as children, as parents. The COVID vaccine has really gotten us in a place of trauma to begin with. Yeah. So this is trauma on top of trauma on top of trauma.
Yeah, and you mentioned them being with their parents, Dr. Rockwell, and how important that is for the students. But talk about, too, it's not just the students, the faculty, the teachers, the first responders who were there and had to witness this, that they're going to also...
Yeah, where do adults turn, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes, there is no answer really why there is violence like this in our country, why it's happening in schools. I think we need to have a national conversation about it, right? How many more times do we all have to witness this? Parents, children, adults, teachers, underprivileged children. It's ridiculous how much we're having to live with. So we need to come together on a national conversation to figure out what's going on. And we need to take care of our own mental health. This is traumatic for all of us watching it. And we need to understand that we need to do self-care to be all right during things like this, to survive the trauma. We're all getting traumatized right now. So we need to turn to one another for comfort and for love, for understanding right now.
And for adults and parents to be there for their kids, they kind of need to be okay with themselves and in their own heads. And for a lot of parents, today was trauma as well, to get that text message that there was an active shooter situation at the school.
We just have to keep breathing, really. We have to come back to our breath and keep that thing calm. because our fight or flight response is activated right now. How could it not be?
Yeah.
We need to calm ourselves so we can be steady for ourselves and for our children. Yes.
Donna Rockwell, your expertise is always so appreciated. Thanks, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.